talk about 2 years. That is the time for suit as per the 4 rules or 3 rules plus the UAE maritime law. Clear? There are so many differences there. Okay. In the other one it is 7 days. They have got 15 days. But as far as this is concerned, time for suit it is the same. Hamburg rules are UAE maritime law, because here the next law key applies. What is the next law key? Law of the land. Clear? Now you say that, see, liability of contract is 1 year, 2 years, 2 years and 1 year. But liability in tort is 3 years. What is a tort? What is a contract?
The agreement. Contract is agreement enforceable by law.
Contract is agreement enforceable by law. Give it a child. Contract is an agreement which is enforceable by law. Okay, I agree to sell. Okay, I invite you for dinner today and you accept it. Okay, there is an offer, there is an acceptance. Is this an agreement?
Yes.
Yes, because for an agreement you need basically it has to fulfill 2 things. One is the offer and the acceptance. So it becomes an agreement. But is this agreement enforceable by law? It is not. Why? No, for contract you do. Okay. It is not a contract, correct. Only a contract can be enforceable by law. Okay. Why is this agreement not enforceable? No, see. 1 second. Okay, I invite you for dinner and you accept that. And I don't give you dinner. Okay, can you sue? Okay, what is the base? Okay, what is one thing which is missing in this agreement which makes it a contract? No. It is called consideration.
Yes. Benefit.
No, the monetary aspect should be there in a contract. Okay, when you book a cargo, okay, when the shipper books a cargo with a carrier or vice versa, okay, it is not just the offer to carry the goods and his acceptance to give you the cargo. There is much more than that. What is that? You actually give him a freight rate and he accepts, saying that okay, you ship my cargo at this rate. That monetary aspect is, and that is what makes it a contract. And this bill of lading which is issued by the carrier is only an evidence of the contract. What are the 3 main ingredients of a bill of lading?
So evidence to contract.
Yes.
Document of title to goods.
And
Receipt of goods.
Okay, so you just need to remember RED, rent. Okay, receipt of goods, evidence of contract, and document of title. Okay, so did I come here? You have. Okay. So that is a contract. So your liability in contract is 1 year or 2 years as per these rules. What is a tort?
Civil damage. It's not actually a damage.
You don't get another chocolate for that.
No, I don't want it.
Okay, it's partly right. Anybody else? What's a tort? No, tort is a civil wrong. Okay, tort is a civil wrong. And you know, one thing, it's okay, no? Okay. Tort is a civil wrong. Okay, so there are basically 2 types of laws. One is a civil law and one is a criminal law. In a criminal law, actually, even if you assault me or I assault you or I commit a murder or if I do something which is a criminal act, okay, actually I am doing that wrong against the state or against the nation or against the country which I live in. Okay, so you don't have the right to take action against me. Instead, the state has gotten the right to take action against me, and accordingly I am penalized or there is a penalty upon me. That is a criminal wrong. Okay, and as much as a tort is concerned, it is civil wrong. Now the state will not take action against me. Instead, you have to actually file a complaint, and this is not common. It is only common under the English common law, basically. Okay, for example, what kind of example shall I give you? Okay. I water my plants. Okay. I am doing it in good faith. This water, it flows to the compound across my boundary wall. Okay. And it destroys or damages some other crops which is there. Okay. Now that's not a criminal act which I am doing, because I am not doing it deliberately, but out of my negligence and out of my act, another party is getting affected by that. So I committed a civil wrong on him, and I am liable to pay
Damages.
damages. Okay, what is the plural of damage? A container has got damage at 4 places. What do you call that? Damage to the container or damages to the container, what? Huh? Multiple damage to the container, right? Right? What is the difference between damage and damages? Because damages is not the plural form of damage. Okay, damages means compensation. Okay, so I am liable to pay damages means I am liable to compensate that other party. This is what is civil law. So I have got a dog at my house. Okay, and it barks. Okay, and it disturbs the sleep of my neighbor. Okay, now I have not done anything. But he cannot come and sue my dog. Instead, he can sue only me, who is the owner. Okay, and he is liable to be compensated. Okay, and this is different from a contract. Okay, the civil contract, the breach of contract is also a civil wrong, but that will not come under the purview of a tort. But the tort is a civil wrong, which almost all these things fit in. It's a vast topic. Now, the liability in tort is 3 years. Liability in contract is 1 year. Okay, I'll give you a real life example. Ras Al Khaimah port, we had a claim. It damaged our containers, 3 containers. Okay, full of cargo. It was flattened to the ground. Now I have got an obligation with the shipper or the consignee to deliver the cargo to him. Okay, and he can claim against me within 1 year. Or as per the local laws there, liability in contract, because I have actually entered into a contract with him. But as much as I can put in a claim with Ras Al Khaimah port, that makes it a liability in tort, and I've got 3 years within which I can actually file a claim against Ras Al Khaimah port, because we are not bound by a contract. Instead, it was out of his drivers or whoever negligence it happened. Clear? Yeah. Is it tough? Not that tough. Okay. So much for time for suit. Okay. The limits of liability. What is an LLC? Limited liability company. How many of you have seen your company's letterheads? All of you have seen?
Yes.
Okay, no chocolates for that. Okay, have you ever seen something like paid up capital, so much dirhams or dollars or whatever? Yes. What does that mean? You have got a chocolate for that. Answer this correctly. What does that mean when you write paid up capital on top of the letterhead?
The company has the assured value of that much with the...
Pardon?
The maximum capital they can raise from the public. Something like that. Slab.
Yeah, but I am talking from a claims perspective here.
Maximum you only have to that amount. Yes.
Maximum claim to be settled in aggregate can be only that amount. That is what is called a limit of liability. Clear? That is, you limit your liability. If you see, if you mention there on your letterhead, okay, paid up capital, which means it's a limit of liability of 1 million dirhams. And if 10 different parties they come to you claiming for 1 million each, now we don't have the money to give them because we have only declared that 1 million. Of course, that is in certain cases, not always. Okay. Now, limit of liability is all about that. That is, you, according to the law, you restrict or limit your liability, or carrier's limit. You have to get it. Okay, you limit your liability to a certain amount. Okay, different rules, and the UAE Maritime Law has got different limits of liabilities here. Okay, they both don't go together. Okay, one, Hague-Wissner rules have got so many SDRs per package, that is 666.67 SDRs per package, or 2 SDR per kilo. Okay, Hamburg rules have 835 units of account, which is again SDR, or it's a unit of account, or 2.5 units of account. The first one is for per package. I'll explain per package, don't worry. And that is for kilo. Okay, whichever is higher always. Rotterdam rules have got a little more, 875 units of account per package, or 3 units of account per kilo. And in UAE maritime law, it is 10,000 dirhams per package, or 30 dirhams per kilo, whichever is on a higher side. What do you mean by per package limitation? If the invoice value, okay, if the invoice value is less than, if you calculate, so for example, you have got say 100 packages, okay, and which is say 10,000 kilos, 100 packages, 10,000 kilos. How do you calculate that? Okay, I mean, this is easier to calculate. UAE maritime. Okay, 100 packages into 10,000 dirhams. So much will be the per package limitation and the maximum claim which the carrier has to pay. Or it will be 30 into 10,000 kilos. Okay, whichever is on a higher side. But if your invoice value is less than the calculation which we have given now, then you are liable to pay the invoice value only, because that is the value of this cargo. Clear? Clear? Yes. Okay. Same applies to the Hague-Wissner rules, Hamburg rules, and Rotterdam. Not clear. Right? If it is not clear, tell me what is not clear. Clear? Okay? That is the limit of liability. Now, by agreement between the shipper and the carrier, you can decide on other maximum amounts, and limitation rights are lost if intentional on the part of the carrier. So you see, I mean, you have got a high value cargo there with you, and you think that I need to pay only this much. For example, if it is one package of gold, okay, and one package of gold, the big one, and maximum it will be having say 50 kilos. Okay, and if you intentionally, you lose it, intentionally, and you say per package it is only this much, I am going to pay 10,000 dirhams, or 50 into 30, how much ever, so 1,500 dirhams, whichever is higher, I am going to pay that. That is an intentional act of the carrier, and that is excluded. That will not come within the purview of the per package limitation. Clear? Yes. Okay, in Hamburg rules, you have got the limits of delay. Okay, for delay in delivery, there is it is defined in Hamburg rules as well as in Rotterdam rules. It is defined to 2 times, 2.5 times freight payable, and as per the Rotterdam rules also it is 2.5 times the freight payable. Clear? Clear? Yes. Okay, good. Now we'll go for a small exercise. What is this? General provisions of the UAE maritime laws related to claims. You know what is a law? Can any one of you give me a definition of a law?